deep in the heart of the Appalachian Range. A state hides enshrouded in secrets and myths of the mysterious inside. Legends that haunt and tales that chill to the bone, whispers of terror in this place, never alone. This is West Virginia, where the mist crawls through the glen, and shadows stir as if alive, scaring men. The trees tower high, and the sky spreads wide. The wind wails secrets only the bravest dare to bite. It is a place where the past and present unite, where old myths mingle with new terror stories at sight. A place where beasts roam the night, and eerie lights glow in the dark. Yet, a tale of terror reigns supreme, a secret of West Virginia untold. A story that will chill you to the bone, and leave your beliefs in tatters and old. This is the story of the Mothman.
A November night, stormy and bleak, 1966, in Point Pleasant town. Fate was about to peak. Roger and Linda Scarberry and Steve and Mary Mallet, two pairs of lovers on a secluded road. Near the TNT factory, Desolate spotted something ahead in a car's glow. They claimed to have seen a creature, large and white, with eyes that blaze red in the night. Linda Scarberry described it as a slender, muscular man, towering 7 feet tall, with wings so bright. She couldn't bear to look at his face, as his gaze had an otherworldly hold, and with a screeching cry, it took flight, giving them a tale to unfold. The couples were distressed and drove away at a breakneck pace. The creature followed with a screeching sound, leaving them with a heart-pounding race. It chased them all the way to the city limits of Point Pleasant, its trail hot on their heels. And the world would come to know of this horror, a tale to be told of what they encountered on those fields. As the news of the creature spread, more and more people began to come forward with their own sightings. Fear and paranoia swept through the town as the legend of the Mothman grew.
Two fearless volunteer firemen who dared to confront the unknown encountered a monstrous bird with piercing red eyes. The local sheriff, George Johnson, had a different theory, believing the sightings to be caused by an oversized heron, but he was not prepared for the terror that was about to unfold. Contractor Newell Partridge experienced the true horror of the creature when he aimed his flashlight at its glowing eyes, reflecting like fiery orbs in the darkness. The buzzing sounds from his television seat and the disappearance of his beloved German Shepherd only added to the nightmarish scenario. Could this be the work of the legendary Mothman? 100 reports from all walks of life told tales of a monster with fear and with strife. Between 66 and 67, in Point Pleasant town, a creature was seen that could defy gravity's hold. Straight up into the air, it could ascend like a helicopter, they said, in the end. All the witnesses described the same creature, with eyes that were glowing and hypnotic red and wings like a bat, with fears left unsaid. They say on quiet nights you can hear its wings flapping through the air, like a death knell for all who dare. And if you look into its eyes, you'll see a glimpse of something beyond this world, something that will make you question your very sanity. Mary Heyer, a reporter so wise in the Mothman story, had a key role in this rise. With 500 phone calls, she was not left alone, of strange sightings and tales unknown. Not just a creature, but lights in the sky, electrical interference, humming sounds that would defy, and UFO sightings too, so strange and so eerie, it left her with questions and made our hearts weary. The why and what of the Mothman's arrival leaves one to ponder with fear and survival. Who was it after? What did it seek? Some claimed it a ghost, a vengeful spirit come back to haunt. Others whispered of a demon with eyes that burned red and hot. There were those who insisted it was an alien from a planet beyond the sky, its glowing eyes searching for answers as it travelled the stars on high. And then there were those who believed it was simply an optical illusion, a figment of the townspeople's fear.
Biology expert Robert L. Smith spoke with might of the Mothman sightings, a cause of fright. He reported to the press, with evidence so clear, of the sandhill crane that holds no fear, a large bird so tall, almost man's height, with a 7-foot wingspan that took to flight. Its eyes circled with red that made it appear like a monster that was just wandering here, out of its migration route, not native to this place. That's why it was unrecognized in its strange space. Efforts by authorities to track the creature failed, adding to Point Pleasant's fear, as sightings continued and doors locked tonight, birthing the legend, the creature that haunted the town with an overwhelming terror. The strange series of encounters with the Mothman gripped Point Pleasant for the next year, the creature's sudden appearance and impact adding to the mystery and fear surrounding it, leaving behind a tale untold.
It was the evening of December the 15th, 1967, and the town was bustling with activity as the holiday season approached. The Silver Bridge, packed with cars, carrying people home from work or out to do some last-minute shopping. But then, without warning, the bridge suddenly, and tragically, collapsed, sending vehicles and their passengers plunging into the Ohio River. In the aftermath of the disaster, the town was in a state of shock and disbelief. Rescue workers searched the icy waters for survivors, but the toll was devastating. 46 people lost their lives, and the town was left to grapple with this tragedy. But as the investigation into the cause of the collapse began, people in Point Pleasant couldn't help but remember the strange sightings of the Mothman that had plagued the town in the months leading up to the tragedy. A belief that came to light that the strange events held some insight, a series that came to an end with the collapse of the Silver Bridge, so blend. That, the Mothman, a warning to all of the collapse about to befall. Rumours also began to circulate, claiming that the Mothman had been seen in the area just before the bridge collapsed, and that his piercing red eyes had been a warning to the people of Point Pleasant. And with the collapse, the Mothman took flight, out of sight, not seen again for a long while, leaving people with a haunting smile. Could it be true, this mysterious sign, that the Mothman had a purpose, divine? Despite its terrifying appearance, the Mothman is not always an omen of evil. Some say it is a messenger of the gods, bringing warnings of impending doom. Others say it is a protector, watching over the people of Point Pleasant and keeping them safe from harm. And not just in Point Pleasant, the Mothman was found in other places too before tragedy surrounds. A warning, some say, of impending doom, a harbinger of death in a darkened room.
In the town of Freiburg, in Germany's hold, miners working in a mine so old. On September the 10th, the year of 78, they encountered a creature that was strange to them all. It blocked their entrance with glowing red eyes on its chest, and they were left with many whys. The miners thought they knew what lay ahead, a man in a coat with nothing to dread. But when they peered, their hearts filled with fear, for it was not a coat, but wings, so dark and severe. The blackness unfurled with a sinister flare. The miners frozen, they couldn't help but stare. The creature loomed, a silent, frightening force, until it let out a screech that was loud. The sound pierced the air, filled with dread and alarm. The miners ran fast, with all their might and charm, couldn't escape the feeling of dread, for the monster with glowing eyes lay ahead. An hour had passed, and the mine in Freiburg, the workers felt a quake, with a rumble so strong. Their hearts started to ache, the dust shot forth in a plumb so high, and the mine collapsed To the workers' surprise, they had followed their routine. With death as its goal, the majority would have perished in the depths of the coal. But their lives were preserved. A mysterious creature their fate had reserved, they nicknamed the Freiburg Shrieker.
It has also been stated that before the Fukushima disaster struck, strange sightings of the Mothman were reported in the skies. Marcus Pules, an American abroad on a visit to Japan, out with a friend near the Fukushima plant, a terror struck them as they heard a loud grunt. A whooshing sound and a terrible screech sent shivers down their spine with fear to breach. As they looked back towards the plant, they saw a figure Pules described as large and black. From the distance I was at, it looked to be sitting on top of one of the squared-shaped buildings. It sat there for about 5 seconds, then it unfurled a large set of what I could only describe as large black wings. The monster took flight with a grace and with might, circling the plant. Then closer it came with a terrible screech, leaving Marcus and his friend with horror and breach. As he explained, "That's when I noticed the 2 large red eyes. They seemed to glow from within and with a blood-red hue. They were unblinking. For 3 to 4 seconds we saw them. We knew they were looking straight at us. We knew this creature knew we could see it, and it made no attempt to disguise itself." Pules felt fear and dread wash over him with a sigh as the creature vanished into the sky. It wasn't until he was back home, far away, that he heard the news of the quake's dismay. On CNN, he learned of the disaster and the plight at the same nuclear plant where he'd seen the Mothman that night. He realised then, with a shocking surprise, that the monster he saw was the harbinger of demise. Was it also a warning of the disaster to come, or just a chilling coincidence?
The Mothman's dark presence is rumoured to bring misfortune and doom, with tales of its haunting sights before catastrophic events like the Chernobyl blast in Ukraine. Its ominous aura spreads terror, and its tales of foretelling disaster leave many to shiver and shake. Eerie tales of a dark and monstrous being, with the form of a man and the wings of a bird, circulated among the researchers and labourers at the Chernobyl nuclear power plant in Ukraine throughout 1985. With piercing red eyes, the creature appeared before those who worked at the plant. Nightmarish calls tormented them, and before long, their world was consumed by the fiery blast of disaster and despair. In the moments prior to the disaster of April 26, 1986, townspeople in Pripyat spoke of a strange, dark creature with a body like a man in black, ominous, wings hovering in the sky. And as the smoke rose from the nuclear plant, after the explosion, multiple witnesses claim to have seen the very same huge blackbird soaring amidst the chaos. Following the sightings, the town of Pripyat was forever changed, evacuated due to the toxic radiation left behind by the disaster, with the eerie memory of the blackbird of Chernobyl. The legends of the Mothman being a harbinger of disaster have grown strong, with the residents of Point Pleasant capitalizing on its popularity by starting an annual festival in its honor. The impact of the Mothman's presence is such that people have been left to ponder the creature's true purpose. Could there be rumors of the Mothman sightings in the times of the recent pandemic, earthquakes and floods? Or has the beast departed? Is the Mothman truly the harbinger of doom? Or is it the very cause of the disasters it warns of? No one can be sure, leaving all in fear and uncertainty. But whatever the Mothman may be, one thing is for certain: its presence is a mystery that has yet to be fully understood. So be warned, for those who dare to seek the truth about the Mothman may find more than they bargained for in its shadow lies a world of terror and fear, a world where the only light is the eerie glow of its eyes.